Hello everybody! Today I will show you how to make plum cake. It's super easy and it's fast. My grandma would also make a plum cake. They would be using a yeast, which would take a longer time, but it's also delicious. And I'm sure I will be showing you this recipe in the future. But for now, let's do this fast one, which is also very good. For the Czech recipes, we would be using large baking trays, but when I create the recipes, I'm using a 9 by 13 inches pan, which you can see right here, which is very common in the USA. So you will need to butter and put flour on this tray. And now this is for the ingredients. So we will need 1 cup all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoon baking powder, 1 egg, half cup granulated sugar, 3 tablespoons oil, half a cup of milk, and this is for the batter. And now for the crumble topping, and in Czech it's called drobenka. We would use 2 tablespoons butter. It needs to be soft, so room temperature butter, 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, and 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And of course, we will also need plums. So this is 1 pound of plums. I took the pits out, I washed it, and also cut it in half. So this way it's ready when we have the batter finished. So let's start to create this amazing recipe. First step, we will butter up our baking tray. So here I have soft, unsalted butter. And using a feather brush, very traditional. You can also use oil, but I prefer butter. If you don't have butter that is room temperature, you can put a little bit into a mug and microwave it. So butter is now finished, and I am doing now a flour. In USA, I would recommend Vondra flour, which is more coarse, and I'm also going to use flour that in the Czech Republic is hruba, which is the coarsest flour we have here. But of course, you can use all-purpose flour, but I recommend using a strainer. This way it covers the tray perfectly and you don't have big clumps of flour. And now we shake it around, and I need to add more. Also do the sides. I recommend doing it over a sink, so you don't create the big mess. Okay, this is finished now, so let's set it aside. First step, let's do the topping, drobenka. So here I have 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons granulated sugar, and 2 tablespoons softened unsalted butter. I just washed my hands, so now with your hands you will be making a crumble. You can also use a fork. And try to crumble the butter and mix it with flour and sugar. This looks good, so let's set it aside. Let's first preheat the oven to 350 Fahrenheit. In a smaller bowl, add 1 cup all-purpose flour and 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. Now mix it together. Mix it well so the cake can rise evenly. This looks good, so I will set it aside and start preparing the other ingredients. Let's add 1 egg into our bowl. Add half cup granulated sugar and let's mix it together. Let's mix it about 1 minute So I just finished. Now add 3 tablespoons of oil. Let's mix this. This is perfect. And now let's add the flour and baking powder mix. And half a cup of milk. Now I will mix it a little bit without the power. And now slowly start mixing. This is perfect. Now let's bring a tray. Pour the batter on prepare the baking tray. It is not too much batter, but this is perfect when it's baked. So you can tilt it to spread the batter and use your spatula too. So try to evenly spread it. Now I will tilt it the other direction and spread it evenly. This looks perfect. So now put plums next to each other. If they are too big, you can cut them. This is 1 pound. I added 2 more plums because these were a little larger. So just have little over pound if you need to add extra. Now we will put topping on the top. Just spread it evenly. I like to first cover all of them and then add as needed. This looks perfect. The oven is now preheated to 350 Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius, and let's bake it for half an hour. As I always say, every oven bakes differently, so make sure to look when it's, let's say, 25 minutes into baking, just to make sure that the cake is not overly baked. I just pulled it out of the oven. I added 3 more minutes for the top to have more color. And as you see, these plums were very juicy. So now you have to let it cool off so you don't burn yourself. And later I will do the test. When you pull it out of the oven, very soon you will start to see the plums going down because they are heavy. But this is no problem at all and it still will be amazing. So now it is finished. I put a little bit of powdered sugar on top and let's try. You have to wait because the plums will be too hot and all the juices. This is so good. It's a little bit crispy with the topping. It's just incredible. Maybe for you it can be a little more on a sour side if the plums are a little sour. So just put more powdered sugar on top as you prefer. For me this is perfect and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you make it, share pictures on Facebook, follow me as Czech Cookbook, on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!